Everybody, this video has been a long time coming. A month and a half ago, when this shirt was put out and we started using this Phoenix logo, a lot of people were like, what the heck does that mean? Is that a Luciferian satanic symbol or what? Why are you guys using the Phoenix? And so I was like, listen, I want to explain that for those who have a problem with it. But also I kind of want to see if anyone could guess as to why we're using the Phoenix and give an explanation that's close to the right explanation. And so I made a short video saying whoever could make a comment on that video that was the closest to the correct answer as to why I chose to use a Phoenix in this logo would win a free shirt. And so without further delay, I wanted to announce who did win, who did in fact write the comment and win this shirt, and then explain briefly why it is that we used the Phoenix in this symbol, in this logo. So the comment comes from, there were 589 comments. 589 comments. I would read them here and there. I'd see things that were close, less close, funny, dead wrong. First thing I want to say is that the comments that were basically saying a phoenix is a symbol that's been used by Christians as a sort of metaphor or as an explanation device for new birth in Christ, for like the resurrection, both of Christ and the resurrection of believers who are born again. Lots of comments about that. So like those are all in part correct. Lots of good comments basically saying the Phoenix is a symbol used by Christians to signify new birth. From the ashes, the Phoenix dies, and from the ashes burns, and a new bird appears, a new Phoenix. So you have this sort of new life. And so, yes, Christians, particularly highly and regularly during the medieval period, would use the Phoenix as a symbol of the new life in Christ and sort of like as a teaching tool. So yes, those comments were spot on. There are lots of comments, about different aspects of that. So those are all good. But there was one comment that I thought had something, and it didn't have any of that, but I think so many people put all that this person didn't put that, but put one thing forward that I thought was kind of unique to a lot of the other comments and was really why, ultimately, the original reason as to why I chose the Phoenix. And the comment comes from at Brian Fox 2723. So Brian Fox, you wrote, "Abolitionists Rising is rising from the ashes of its former self, post-Dobbs, to put an end to child sacrifice once and for all. Pre-Dobbs, the focus was abolition on a national level. Post-Dobbs, the focus is local abolitionist groups working to abolish abortion in their local areas. The AHA symbol, mark, shows the common connection of all abolitionists to the principles AHA stands for, being at the heart of abolition and having never really went away as a movement." So congratulations, Brian Fox. Your comment is the winning comment, and I will figure out how to make sure you see this video, and then we will figure out through message how to get you a shirt, like what size, what color you want. It comes in this color scheme, and it also comes in sort of like a dark charcoal gray and white. So congratulations. Now, the reason that I chose this comment, not everything about this comment is perfectly right, but the kernel, the idea that the Abolitionists Rising, our group, our organization, this channel, is rising from sort of like a former or a previous movement that's sort of died, it's going to run its course, is the ultimate reason why I used the Phoenix. Now, don't get offended. All my pro-life friends who think, oh, he's going to rant on us. Let me explain. Please hear me out. But that part of this comment was not really in any of the other comments, maybe in part. But not only is the idea of Abolitionists Rising is sort of like rising from a previous movement, but also being connected to and being built on abolitionist principles that are at the heart of abolitionism over time. So lots to learn here. Previous lectures, not going to go into it too much, but when he talked about the AHA symbol, which is that right there in the middle, It's in the heart of the Phoenix. These are principles of abolition that really came on the scene and were being put forward in 2012 and have been sort of like argued for by an extreme minority of abolitionists in the United States of America, particularly, basically arguing that, yes, we agree with the pro-lifers that babies should be saved from abortion, but these are 5 principal tenets that we need to embrace in the battle against child sacrifice. And those principal tenets can be seen in the works of earlier abolitionists in 19th century America, late 18th and 19th century Britain. And we need to adopt those principles and try to abolish human abortion instead of regulate human abortion or incrementally or gradually curtail abortion. And yes, Abolitionists Rising, we did not start the abolitionist movement. This organization is not even a year old, but we're trying to take this abolitionist movement that did start, that was reignited over a decade ago, and popularize it and put it out there so more people think about abolitionism and what we're saying and whether they agree or disagree. And so, you know, that's, I think, acceptable to a lot of people. The one thing about abolitionists that people don't like, particularly if they're working for pro-life organizations or they've been heavily involved in the pro-life movement, is the idea that kind of the pro-life movement has run its course, that it kind of needs to die, that it's kind of accomplished what it set out to accomplish, the repeal of Roe v. Wade, that, you know, it's kept the abortion issue around for 50 years and kind of created this sort of pro-life versus pro-choice political thing. And, you know, this strategy of elect a pro-life president who will appoint pro-life justices, and those pro-life justices will reverse Roe v. Wade. So pro-life movement has had its goal of like aborting 73. And so that's kind of run its course. Pro-lifers, there's like actually a t-shirt company called Abort 73. It's kind of like, okay, well, you abort 73. There's another t-shirt that says, I survived Roe v. Wade, abortion. Yeah, I survived Roe v. Wade will not survive me. Okay. Problem is, you know what also survived the repeal of Roe v. Wade? Abortion. Abortion is still nowhere in the United States of America a criminal act. Not even in the most pro-life Republican conservative of states, the act of abortion is not being treated as a crime. And mothers who order pills to terminate their babies cannot be like held responsible for terminating their babies in the way that they would be held responsible if they suffocated their newborns or killed their husbands. And likewise, men who, order pills and give them to their girlfriends or wives or whatever are not being criminally charged as murderers. And so abolitionists are trying to basically say the act of abortion needs to be abolished. I wish I could go into all that and the differences. We just put up a video the other day where we get into some of it, and there will be lots of that in the upcoming days and months, and hopefully not years and years, of Abolitionist Rising's work. But the idea is that the pro-life movement has run its course. The sort of focus on incrementalism, the focus on regulationism, the focus on obeying Roe v. Wade until we could repeal it, all that kind of stuff, 50 years, 75 million babies murdered. It's kind of run its course. And so Abolitionist Rising is saying we need people to stand up, be bold in the face of the pro-abortion movement that shouts their abortion like unabashedly, like we love abortion. Abortion is key to women being equal, all that feminist stuff. We want to shout our abolition. Like we're not keeping secret like that we think it's child sacrifice and murder and that we think it should be abolished. When the world says things like, oh, that's too harsh, we're like, it's as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice, but we're going to be heard on this because we believe it's truth. And so we try to speak the truth in love, put it out there as best we can. And so we're trying to get as many people to become abolitionists and unify together, as many pro-lifers to unify with abolitionists to support bills and activities and everything from law and policy to personal conversations. We're trying to get people to basically say, yes, abortion is a great evil, a sin, a murderous crime, and it should be abolished in the same way that chattel slavery was abolished or the slave trade was abolished. So we're trying to build that movement. It is rising because more and more pro-lifers are becoming abolitionist. Now, a lot of people say things like, oh, you guys are too harsh on pro-lifers or too critical. We need to all just work together. Well, the fact of the matter is that's what we're saying. We need to all work together, but we need to be unified on abolishing abortion. We don't need to be unified on delaying abolition. We don't need to be unified on opposing the criminalization of abortion. We don't need to be unified on stopping states from criminalizing abortion within their borders or stopping the United States from criminalizing abortion in the entire country. And actually, it is not abolitionists who are being divisive. We are saying, let's all get together on abolishing abortion. And when we've done that and when we've gained ground and seen success, it's actually been, as a fact, an empirical fact, just Google 72 pro-life organizations sign a letter opposing the Abolition of Abortion in Louisiana Act back in 2021. And you will see that every single time that a bill to abolish abortion has been put forward at the state level, pro-life organizations, lobbyists, groups, local and national, have rallied together and unified together, even if they had other small differences, to oppose abolition. A lot of people are like, no, that can't be true. Well, it's just, you just don't know the truth. That may not be what you want, or that may not be what you think pro-life organizations have ever done, but that is what they have done. Whether you're talking about Students for Life of America, or whether you're talking about 40 Days for Life, National Right to Life, all the way down to, other groups that are less political, they've all kind of unified together and said the one thing that pro-lifers and pro-life Americans do not believe is that mothers who elect to murder their preborn babies should be treated like murderers. Well, Abolitionists Rising, you can call us harsh all you want, but we actually think they should. We'll explain it more in a future video. Actually, I'll be giving a talk on this at Ohio State University this week. So this video's already run really long, but that's the kernel. That's the idea that the abolitionist movement is trying to grow from people sort of converting from pro-life to abolition, sort of like being born. It's not like to become a Christian or anything like that, but it's being born again. Like this thing needs to be born again. That like we need to, instead of just saying, like people have said abortion is wrong for a long time. But how they fought it has not always been treating it as abortion. Like if you can find 300 laws written in the United States of America over the past 50 years, and the defining characteristic of all pro-life legislation that's been suggested and passed has been abortion is bad, but it's not murder. Like, I'm not making that up. You can be mad at me and you can think that I'm telling a lie, but you're only going to think that until you really look into it, because that is actually true. All these laws are like abortion. You can abort your baby if you use this method. You can abort your baby if you have this license. You can abort your baby if you have parental permission. You can abort your baby if you look at an ultrasound first. The abortionist can perform abortions if they are this close to a hospital. On and on and on and on and on. None of them have just been, it's child sacrifice, murder. Murder should not be illegal. And the laws against murder that are on the books that are already applied to born people should be applied to preborn people. And so the same criminal justice that's carried out for born people should be applied to preborn people. So yes, abolitionists, and you may have to think about it. You may not be in agreement right now, but I ask you, please hear us out, especially in future arguments, lectures, pamphlets, whatever. You may not agree with it now, but that is a position that abolitionists hold, and a position that pro-lifers oppose. Again, you may think, I don't oppose that and I'm a pro-lifer. Well, you're a pro-lifer who calls yourself a pro-lifer, but you're actually an abolitionist. If you do not oppose the criminalization of abortion as murder, and you're calling yourself a pro-lifer, the problem is 72 of the leading pro-life organizations in the United States of America wrote a letter. I'll put it in the comments. You can read their letter and you can see all the organizations that signed it that said they do not believe that abortion should be criminalized as murder, not the act. So this shirt, taking a pill to terminate a baby, is murder with malice aforethought. Abolitionists Rising shirt. This is what abolitionists say. And yes, it's harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice, but it's the kind of truth that will set our culture free. It's the kind of truth that'll set individuals free. And hopefully the kind of truth that will protect preborn babies in the event that that law is established and actually executed. So much more could be said. But the abolitionist movement is rising from this sort of period of ineffectual work at fighting abortion. I'll be explaining that again more this Friday at Ohio State University. One last thing, as he mentioned, the sort of AHA symbol and the principles of abolition, which have been around for a long time. Really, the principles of abolition, the tenets of abolitionism. You can find out more about those at abolitionistrising.com, or you can look and find out a lot about those at sort of websites like freethestates.org. And basically 5 big-time key principle differences between pro-lifers and abolitionists that really show that the movements aren't just different in sense of like a degree. Like, we're not saying the abolitionist movement is like the pro-life movement, it's just more extreme or more radical. We're actually saying, no, it's different. It's different in kind, not different in degree. Like, different ideology, different strategy, different policy, different terminology. And because they're different, we do not unify in the sense of consider ourselves part of the pro-life movement. Last thing, people say, oh, that's really hateful and divisive. Well, we're not being divisive. And as I've said, the other thing is most abolitionists, almost all abolitionists that are part of the abolitionist movement, that are this phoenix that's risen in our culture, are themselves former pro-lifers. They're pro-lifers who came to understand that the things that they truly believed about abortion and how it should be fought were not the things that pro-life leaders themselves actually truly espoused. They may sound like they hold to treating abortion as murder, but when you look at their bills, when you look at their policies, when you look at their strategy and ideology, they're not treating abortion like it's murder. They're treating it like it's a form of, to quote Tony Lounger of the National Right to Life and Oklahomans for Life, a kind of killing, but not murder. And so lots of pro-life people have looked into the crazy stuff that I've been saying for over a decade and other abolitionists, and found out, wow, that stuff's not crazy. It's true. And I actually agree more with the abolitionists than with the pro-lifers. And they're not dividing in a bad way. They're not leaving the pro-life movement in a bad way. They're leaving it in a good way. They're not pro-lifers for a number of reasons, but they still believe abortion is murder and it should be abolished. And now when you start putting forward bills to abolish abortion, the opposition is both from the pro-life movement and the pro-choice movement. And so we need to rise up. We need to grow in numbers. We need to grow in strength, resolve, energy, ability, funding, everything. We're trying with Abolitionists Rising, other organizations, abolitionist organizations in the United States of America, we are trying to see just this thing be born anew, even following the repeal of Roe v. Wade, that has the right ideas, the right strategy, the right ideology, terminology, everything, the goods to actually abolish abortion. So sorry for this long video. For those of y'all who made it to the end, you know what? love you. I thank you. We're not going to be putting up a lot of rant videos like this, but we've got a lot of stuff planned. We're going to be at Ohio State this week. Lots of activism, lots of conversations, shorts and longs will be coming. For those of you who say, put up more long form videos, we are about to be in the place to where we can put up long form videos regularly. We're going to start going for a regular weekly long form video if we can. We haven't been able to do that because we have one video editor, and we are now about to add a second. So we're going to have two video editors, one who will be focused on longs, one who will be focused on shorts, and hopefully, Lord willing, people funding, all of that, we'll be able to start doing more program, more shows, podcast, all that kind of stuff. But right now, we're just trying to get as many people to hear us out as we can. So thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, all that stuff, for getting involved in the abolition movement, for wearing the gear, passing out the cards, putting the stickers. You know, I was gonna go through all this stuff, but you know, this video is so long, I'm just gonna leave it off. One thing, this is a thing for those who've really followed the page. Anyone who orders, I'm going to put it in. Anyone who orders any order from the Abolitionist Rising store until these are gone is going to get a free 100 pack of the Women Are Not Sex Objects, Babies Are Not Body Parts drop cards, our big fire cards. We call them drop cards because you just kind of drop them around, but these are big enough to hand out. But we're going to put a pack of these in every order because yes, there is a typo on the back, but there's some really great art on the front, and it's a good message, and everyone who sees the typo will know, oh, that's supposed to be conceived. We're going to fix that typo, but we're going to get rid of all these typo cards before then. So, all right, 22-minute long video. I'll try not to do this to you again, but again, thank you for watching.